Hey friends, thanks for tuning in for another adventure. I hope you're all having a splendid day. My name is Ian with Out of This World Reader, and it is that time yet again. It is spooky season, and I've got some spooky books and dark academia books, dark forest books that I really want to get to. I really wanted to do kind of just my recommendations, but when I kind of went through all the books I've read over the past couple years, and after I looked at them, they're the ones you probably heard of so many times. I could only find one, and that was The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed. It's got a dark forest, and it kind of had a little bit of spooky setting in it, and I feel like it would be kind of the perfect fall read for kind of this time of year. But other than that, I couldn't really think of anything else. Like Uprooted, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. You've heard all of those, so maybe next year I'll have some greater recommendations for you under my belt. But today's list is just some books that I really want to get to over these kind of fall months. And what I consider kind of fall months is kind of the whole spooky season. So it's kind of September, October, and then it just depends in November, depending on my mood. It could be like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, just depending on when that kind of Christmas spirit kind of comes out of nowhere and hits me. So that really depends, but that is kind of the fall season. So I've got a great list of books here. So without further ado, let's hop into the first one that I want to get to. The first one that I have here is Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. I got this last year, and I haven't heard much about it. Like, I've heard some things surrounding it, but from what I know, it's got a dark forest that's kind of basically destroying this kingdom, kind of is similar to Uprooted, how that kind of dark forest was doing some things secretly in the background, and I believe this one has got a similar thing, and there's this one girl that is the only person that can stop it, and with the help of this kind of talking fox. And I do love an animal companion in my story, so I'm interested to see how this talking fox is going to be playing a role. Like, we all know that song that came out and we didn't know what the fox said, but now maybe we'll get a glimpse of what they say in this book. But I'm really interested. I believe there's magic involved in it, and I think it's just going to be a YA kind of version of Uprooted, and I'm really excited for it. It's got a beautiful cover, and I think it's going to be perfect for fall. I'm sorry if you hear kind of construction in the background. I don't know, every time I want to film something happens, but we're going to go with the flow. The next one is kind of the OG of dark academia, and that's going to be The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I honestly have no idea what's going on with this, so I'll be going in completely blind, but I can't see it. I see it everywhere on where I go on the websites for looking for kind of dark academia recommendations. So I figured, since I haven't read it, I have to read it because it's like the OG, and it's kind of considered the kind of the what kickstarted dark academia. So I have no idea what's going on with it, but it's dark academia, and fall is perfect for dark academia. So if you've read it and you think it's a great read, please let me know down below. And then we have Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. This one is really interesting. I think it's got some witches in it, but I'm not sure. I know it has some magic that's kind of impacted this family through several years in this town. They live in this town, and basically this town just hates them and blames them for everything that goes wrong, and kind of, I believe they accuse them of being witches. And I think it's going to be following these two perspectives of sisters called like the Owen sisters. And I always kind of just love kind of following sibling relationships in books and seeing how they play. So I'm interested to see how kind of these two perspectives, or maybe if it's just one perspective, kind of play into this role. From what I gathered, basically they are separated after several years, and what brings them back together is this magic that has kind of been surrounding their family. And I think it's got some heartwarming kind of familiar bonds and kind of stuff that's formed, but also a little bit of magic involved, and magic perfect for fall in my opinion. I don't know what it is about it, but I just love magic in a lot of my fall books. So that is another one that I really am interested in. And then we have another kind of classic, which is actually my book club pick for the month of October, which is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. A lot of people know it from kind of the Netflix adaptation that was released a couple years ago, and that's where I kind of found out about it. I binge watched the whole kind of series on Netflix with my friends back in freshman year when I was back in the dorms. And I never read the book, and now I feel it's the perfect time to read the book, so that's why I really wanted to include it as one of my book club picks, because I just feel like it's a classic, and a classic horror, and since I'm very inexperienced in horror, I feel like it's kind of a good starting point for some of her works and just the genre in general. But I love the adaptation, so I am hoping, and I'm probably gonna love the book as well. So I just can't wait to get to that one as well. And in October, so it's not that far away. Also, when I think of fall, I think of kind of murder mysteries and kind of darker things going on. And with this one next pick, we've got some of that going on with a little bit of fantasy mixed in, and that is The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. And I read the 7.5 Lives of Evelyn Hardcastle, and I really enjoyed that. And this is their newest kind of release, and it's following kind of a detective who's been wrongfully kind of accused of this murder, and he's basically traveling in the 16th century, I believe, on a boat to Amsterdam to be executed, and along the way, a kind of devil in the water is starting to cause some trouble on the ship, and I think this detective and one of his maybe sidekicks has got to solve the problem and save the whole ship from the devil. But I've heard great things about it already, and I think since I love their 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, I love that as well. I think that I'll love this one as well, but it's got like a little bit of dark, spooky kind of murders going on this boat, and they're kind of secluded in the water, so I feel like it's just going to be a whole spooky atmosphere. And haunted boats and stuff like that have always frightened me, so I think it's just going to put me in the perfect mood for spooky season. This next one really needs no explanation. It is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. If you've been on my channel before, you know I love a lot of Naomi Novik's works. All of them, Uprooted and Spinning Silver. I really enjoyed this one, and I don't know why I haven't picked this one up yet. I think I was just waiting for fall because it's Dark Academia, Magic School, and the Magic School, it's out to get you. But what sets it apart is this one basically just attempts to kill you at everything. Like you're very lucky if you make it out. And I believe it's following kind of young girl who kind of uses dark magic, and she's kind of frowned upon for it. So dark magic, a school that's trying to kill you, perfect for fall. And I love all of Naomi Novik's works that I've read, so I think that this one is just going to be just as good. Now, I had to include one horror book, and that's mainly because I'm a scaredy cat, but with this one, from what I've heard, I'm going to be completely frightened, and I will probably have nightmares, and that is House of Leaves. I don't know, like, from what I saw on, like, the cover, like, it doesn't look that scary, and it looks more kind of trippy, so I don't know, we'll see where that goes. But from what I've heard from everyone, it has completely frightened them. So if you've read it and you were frightened, please let me know, because I'm a scaredy cat, and I can't be having nightmares. Like, no thank you. But I really want to see how, like if it stands up to the hype that everyone's kind of giving it. But I do need to include some horror books for spooky season, so I think this one would be perfect for that. One that has been gaining quite a bit of hype lately here on just BookTube, Bookstagram, and all that stuff is A Lesson in Vengeance. And all I know is it's Dark Academia and involves kind of like a university and some witchcraft that might be going on down below, like deeper within it. And I think there's kind of a sapphic romance, so that's all I know. And since it's Dark Academia involving witchcraft at a university, that's all I really need to know. But that segues perfectly into what I believe is the final Dark Academia book on this list, and that's The Devil Makes Three. From what I know, this is basically following two perspectives that kind of find this hidden library under their university, and they find a secret book. And then once they open that book, guess what pops out of that book? A devil. And together They have to stop this devil from wreaking havoc on the world, and it's just perfect dark academia. Got a little bit of horror mixed in, a YA horror, so that's kind of a bit toned down from House of Leaves. I'm hoping would still give me a little bit of fright, but that and kind of The Lesson in Vengeance, two perfect dark academia books. And the last book, I had to include a little bit of romance in it, but it's still got some magic and witches and witch hunters in it. You're probably guessing it, and you're probably guessing right. Really like to get to Serpent and Dove. It is one that I see everywhere, and it just sounds so cool, like kind of a witch and a witch hunter that are basically hating each other. And I do love a good enemies to lovers, but they hate each other, and they basically feel like find some feelings for each other, and I think it's just going to be perfect little fall romance to check out. And I believe the series is finished now, or the third book has just came out, but I can just binge the whole series and just hopefully enjoy it. But those were all the books. And lastly, I would kind of really want to just check out a lot from Neil Gaiman over these couple months. I know he's got a lot of spooky books, or just kind of spooky season books. If you know of any great places to start for kind of those spooky books, I believe kind of like, what is it? Caroline is one that I've heard that is great. The Ocean at the End of the Lane is another one. But he's got so many that I would really like to just check out over the spooky season. But those were all of the books on this list. What are some books that you're hoping to read over this spooky season? Please let me know down below. But that is all for today's video. I really hope you enjoy it, and I hope to see you in the next video. But that is all, and I'm going to leave you with a message from Ellie, who said that adventure is out there. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.